Welcome to another edition of Wings Weekly. Jake Kleinknecht here, and of course, head coach Steve Jennings. Coach, a strong weekend. Defended the Odie, swept the North Iowa Bulls out of the building. A 5-2 win on Friday. They scored, but you answered back with 3 goals in the first period, a 3-2 at the end of one. And then I thought a really strong second. You started with the double minor on the power play, but even longer than that, it felt like a good 10 minutes where you guys were basically camped out in their zone and put a lot of pressure on them. And then, of course, 2 goals at the end of the second period, about 14 seconds apart. So it ends up being a 5-2 win. And like we talked about pregame on Saturday night, you guys as a staff had to kind of like what you saw for Friday's matchup.
Yeah, we're pretty happy with it, right? A lot of what we had worked on in terms of, prep for not only North Iowa, but for us in terms of stabilizing what we are and who we are as a team. We saw a lot of that in action on Friday night, so it was refreshing to see.
Mm-hmm. Penalty kill again, 100%. Didn't have many opportunities on the power play, but again, the kill continues to be strong. You go into Saturday night, Jackson Yee gets the Wings on the board first against, frankly, a pretty fired up North Iowa team. Yeah. And we talked about it. I could tell even just when they left the ice, you could tell on Friday night they were upset. You could tell that they felt like they didn't play their best game. And I expected Saturday night for them to come out pretty jazzed up, and that was the case. So that goal by Yee was really big. Yeah. Of course, you end up with the win, but ends up going to a shootout. Your thoughts on Saturday's matchup?
I thought, I knew they were going to come out hard, and they did, right? They came out challenging and making us work for every inch, which was good. And that's what I honestly think that's what our division is, right? There's not a lot of free nights here, and there's not the opportunity to win on Friday and take for granted that you'll win on Saturday here, right? And I knew they were going to push. They made some lineup changes there on Saturday, and I thought the guys did a good job, getting to a new goalie, chasing him out of the net. They also got some energy though after they made that change, and they pushed back. And again, that's what we have to just find that way. We caught just a tough break there late in the third and win the draw, and then we lose an edge and turn the puck over, and there you go. And that's hockey, right? So I was happy with overtime, us pushing. It was our first overtime since the preseason, so that part was good. And then Wasik was great in the shootout, so it was good.
Kate Nielsen with the winner. Yeah. You sent out Ronan Walsh, who first in the shootout, a player that nobody had seen until this weekend. Incidentally, I really like his style of play, a big fast body, but offensively minded too. How does every coach has got a little bit of a different process, I think, when it comes to the shootout. What told you send Walsh out?
Some of it's a feel.
Yeah.
Some of it's a look. I thought he had a good night in terms of generating some things, and he is new, right? And there's an opportunity sometimes for a new kid to come in and jam a dagger, right? And I thought we could get that there, and I actually thought early on as he approached, he had him. Yeah. And he went for a different shot, and that's fine. But that's again, it's just some of that's a feel, as we were going through, and I started, kind of mentally prepping for who would we shoot while we were still managing through the overtime. And then, as that went on, I made a late change, and he was the late change.
Nice. Well, again, ends up being a win in a shootout. 3 games in the Central Division over the weekend ended in overtime or a shootout. And we've talked about how even this division is. The top 2 teams in the standings were swept. And as I mentioned, multiple overtime and shootout games over the weekend. I think that's going to be, par for the course as the season goes along. And we'll run through standings here in just a moment. But, I heard a lot of people, well, maybe not a lot, maybe I shouldn't say that. That might be a bit of an exaggeration. But a few people had talked to me and said, they look better. Like they look like they're improving from the last time they were, the Wings were at home. And it got me thinking about what you guys are seeing. Are you seeing what you want to see as far as improvement goes from week to week to week?
We're seeing gains, for sure. For sure we are. And again, this is part of what I've been saying since we started, in the summer, right? Like, some of these guys just have to learn what it takes and how to get through this. So, and the rigor of junior hockey and a season in junior hockey is different, right? And so for some of these guys, just learning how to work the right way and showing up every day and working to their best every day, it starts to pay off. It's no different than going to the gym, right? Yeah. So if I want to get stronger, I go to the gym, and I'm not going to start, on heavy weights right away. It's just going to be steady gains through it,
Sure.
and then we'll hit a point where we're going to see a significant growth jump, and I'm hoping we're to one of those opportunities here. Right?
Excellent. Well, again, great weekend for the Wings in many ways. Obviously, as I mentioned, penalty kill was very strong both nights. A lot of positives coming from it, but certainly one of the positives was the jersey auction and the Children's Miracle Network, and being able to be a part of that and raise money over the course of the Radiothon, which the Wings were a part of too, answering phones and helping out. Radiothon and the jersey auction, upwards of $70,000 was
That's
raised
awesome.
for the Children's Miracle Network, and of course the jerseys and sweaters designed by Jackson Hagen. A little bit of tweaking, a little bit of help for him, but the overall idea was Jackson Hagen's, and he got a chance, and so did Will Schreiber, to come into the locker room. I saw some video of that. That was pretty cool. The guys did a great job, cheering them on, and you got to let them read off the starters and let them get the reaction from the team and stuff. That's really cool. What does it mean to you as a coach to be able to have that involvement?
I think it's, we don't get to do a lot of it, and we can't do it every night. Mm-hmm. But when there are special opportunities like that, and there are people where it's going to make a difference, it's a really cool thing to be able to do. And so for us, having that chance to bring him in, and Will was great, and you could see him on Friday night. He was a little bit nervous, and after he did the first name or two, you could see the energy totally changed, and the room fed off it as well. It was really fun, and he was starting to really have fun, and he walked out of here with a big smile on his face and was like, well, he had a good time with that. And so same thing with Jackson, right? He was just a shyer kid, but he had a good time with it. And again, I think for these guys, it's a privilege to be able to play junior hockey. It's a privilege to be able to play here, and to have guys like that come in and be able to give back. I think for these guys, it's a good reminder about the world here, which is good. Yeah,
for sure. And they did the ceremonial puck drop both nights too, and I thought it was really cool to see the captains, talking with Jackson and stuff, and not just the fist bump, but actually, say, hey buddy, whatever. And I was told on both accounts that both of them had a grin from ear to ear, and they had a great time with it. So that's awesome. Quick look at the standings here. Austin is at the top of the division right now with 18 points. North Iowa Bulls with 18 in second. Wings now in third with 14. Minot into the fourth position with 13 points. St. Cloud drops to fifth with 12, and then Bismarck with 7. St. Cloud does have 5 games in hand. The Wings have 2 games in hand, but as we talked about, a very tight division, and it's likely going to be like that most of the season. And you've got the 8-3-1-1 Austin Bruins come into the Odie for the first time this year. Have you had a chance to look at any film on the Bruins?
Yep. Bigger team coming in. So I think we're not a small team. They're bigger than us. They have some fairly stretched out kids, we'll say. So it should be good, and I think Steve has them going. So it's going to be. It'll be a different sort of test, and that's the one thing that I appreciate about the division is we don't have all our teams playing the exact same style of hockey, right? So that part will be fun too.
Well, they come off a weekend where they were swept by Minot. One game, of course, as I mentioned, went into overtime. But and looking at the stats, looked like a pretty physical matchup up in the Mesa. There are quite a few penalties and fights and different things like that. And you talk about their size. Do you think their physicality will play a role most likely here this weekend too, huh?
I'm sure it will. I mean, I would expect nothing less. And a physical game is a big key to us, right? When we're not physically engaged in the game, we're just not very good, right? I mean, it's that easy. When we are physically engaged in the game, everything else follows. And so, it's going to be an important series this weekend for us. It's going to be an important part of our game. If we're not physically into it, it'll be hard to get out of the gates.
Yeah. Did you like the energy from the weekend? Obviously, wins, that's good. But when I talk energy, and you and I have talked before about finishing checks and different things like that. There's different levels of how you look at energy. Overall, were the stats pretty good?
They were okay. Yeah. They were. And to be fair, right, and I get reminded about this, I have an expectation, and so if we don't hit my expectation, it's not great. But it was still really good. I mean, we had good numbers. We want them to continue to get better, right? That's my whole thing. Is I want to see us get to a very high level and stay at that very high level. and I think we're getting there. We're making progress to that, right, which was good. And I thought Friday night our energy. I thought we won. That was good. I thought we still had left a little bit on the table to take some more steps in the energy department. And energy for us is things like hits and block shots and things like that, right? So it's not just about the feel; it's about some very specific targets we have on a game night, right, that we want to accomplish. So we're again, I think the guys who maybe have never been coached against standards like that are trying to figure out how to play every night and not just feel good because I had a goal or I had an assist, but understand what did you do away from the puck and what did you do for the other parts of your shift when you didn't have the puck on your stick.
Right. A lot of different components there for sure. All right. Well, anything else that you are expecting or hoping for to see against Austin in order to be successful?
No, I think the other part of energy that we had over the weekend is I thought our crowd was unreal. Yeah. And I think that's a big part of it. And with what we have coming in this weekend, I want that to be a bigger part of what we have going on. Because again, when you're on the bench and we're playing well and the crowd's pushing us, that's the foot on the accelerator, right? Mm-hmm. Like we're trying to step on it, but that's a little extra juice to do it. And same thing on Saturday night, right? I thought it was really good. That was an entertaining game, I'm sure, for fans to watch. It was, challenging for us. It was a good game. There were some parts of that game that I really loved and frustrated on a couple of moments there that maybe I didn't feel like we got the look we needed to get. But hey, it is what it is. And like I say a lot, right? It's hockey. We don't always get all our own breaks, and that's why you play the game.
All right, well, Coach, that's about all I've got for you. Again, congratulations on a sweep over the North Iowa Bulls, and best of luck coming up against the Austin Bruins.
All right, thanks, Jay.
All right, folks, we'll take a quick break and be back with the player coming up after this.
We raise the bar on bar food with sandwiches, tenders, and
burgers.
There's more where this came from. To the greatest of all times.
Wings Weekly continues, and as promised, a player is joining me, and this time it's Jackson Yee, number 28 of Farmington Hills, Michigan. Jackson, thanks so much for taking some time and to spend with us a little bit here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Happy to have you. You know, you're a guy that was on this team last year, 31 games played last year, 1 goal, 4 assists, 9 games in this year, 6 goals and 2 assists, and you had just a fantastic weekend against the North Iowa Bulls here at the Odie. And then, when we were down in Mason City, you had a really strong weekend against them too. What's been the major difference, do you think, or what has allowed you to have this level of success here so early on in the season?
I give a lot of credit to my line mates for sure. They definitely helped me out. Definitely making plays for me and shooting the puck and just crash to the net. But I think for me too, I think my mental game has been a big factor for it. Okay. I think I've been really focusing on that and just being prepared and being ready when the puck drops.
Yeah. Well, and that's something that Coach and I have talked about on many occasions, is that mental aspect and being ready to go. And so you don't get that slow start and stuff. And obviously on Saturday night for you to get the Wings on the board first, that was huge. And like Coach and I talked about, kind of expected the Bulls to come out with a lot of energy because they seemed, just listening to them and stuff as they left the ice Friday, pretty upset. It seemed to me that they weren't happy with the game they played, and that kind of expected a strong start for them on Saturday. But you made sure that didn't happen. So congratulations on that. What do you think? We talked about differences and similarities in your game and what has helped you be successful this early. How about differences in this team compared to last year's team? Are there some differences and probably some similarities too? What are your thoughts as a veteran?
I definitely think we have a younger team. And with that being said, it takes a little while for guys to adjust. Mm-hmm. But I think just overall the last couple of weeks especially, we've done a great job of adjusting to it and just competing for 60 minutes. I think that's been our biggest thing so far that we're trying to work on. And I think as the season goes on, and as of right now, I think we're headed in the right direction. Yeah.
Well, and Coach and I were just talking about the improvement and what the gains that they are seeing as a coaching staff and so on too. And it is, it's a grind, but definitely takes a lot of work. And that is something that doesn't seem to me that you're afraid of. I wanted to compliment you. That I've seen on many occasions when we're on the road and stuff like that, how helpful you are and how you're willing to help out, take out garbage or from a lobby area, from a meal or whatever. You were one of the last guys in the room help clean up and different things like that. I think that speaks volumes and speaks to your your character and work ethic too. Where do you get that from?
I give a ton of credit to my parents.
Yeah.
That's just how they raised me. They raised me to think about other people, to put other people first. And I also give a lot of credit to the veterans last year. Just looking at what they did, especially I look at a guy like Clayton. He was always the last guy, after meals, taking care of the trash and stuff. So no, I look at the vets last year, and then obviously my parents did a great job as well.
Excellent. All right. Well, I got to ask you about the dagger, the sword that you pulled out of the freezers at the jersey auction on Saturday night. Is there an inside story there, or what was that all about?
Yeah. So the sword is given to the guy that scores first in the game after we win a game.
Gotcha.
So I had it in my stall, and then I figured I'd just bring it out for the auction. Why not?
Yeah. So. A lot of fun, guys with sunglasses on and hats and different things like that. It's great to see them have some fun with those jersey auctions. And as I kind of transitioning into that, it of course was a fundraiser for the Children's Miracle Network and raised a bunch of money for them. And I was talking with Coach about the young Children's Miracle Network children that are right here in Aberdeen, Jackson Hagen and Will Shriver that were leukemia survivor, and what does it mean to you as a player and as a team for them to come in here into the locker room and read off the starters and everybody cheer them on and to be part of a fundraising effort like the Children's Miracle Network?
Oh, I thought it was really special. I mean, seeing the smiles on the kids' face when they're reading the lineup, and they're excited that we're cheering for them, and Jackson got to drop the puck, so I thought that was really cool too. The kids love it, and it's for a great cause, so we're obviously happy to help out and put a smile on the kid's face.
Yeah. Again, I was just talking with Coach Jennings moments ago about the impact that it has on the kids, but not only these two kids, but so many others that Children's Miracle Network helps. So it's great for the community and for the team and everybody to be involved with that. I got to ask you about your nicknames. First of all, there's Cheeser, there's U-Haul. First, with U-Haul, we got to hear that story. Yeah, so the way I understand it is you showed up in a U-Haul pickup truck, and everybody was kind of wondering what the heck was, why you were in a U-Haul pickup. But it turned out that you had done some research and found out that it was actually cheaper to rent the U-Haul than it would have been to rent from a rental place?
Yeah, that's correct. So it's cheaper, and also to rent a rental car, you got to be 25 or something. You got to be really old, and I'm not old enough to rent one. So for a U-Haul, you only have to be 18 years old. So it was also it was cheaper, and it was something I was actually able to drive while I was there. So it worked out perfectly. Is best of both worlds.
That is ingenious. I would have never thought of that. That works out. That's awesome. How about cheese? Is that just a play on your name, or do you have an affinity for cheese or something?
It started last year. There was just a team event. Everyone was at a bonfire, and I guess apparently I was a few minutes late. So then someone said, "Where's Yee?" And then someone thought that they said, "Where's cheese?" And ever since then, it's just stuck. And so that's my name now, Cheese.
Excellent. I wondered if maybe it was, because there's some people that cheese is good stuff, but there's some people that really go crazy for it. So I thought maybe that was part of it. All right. Your hockey start, or how did you first get into hockey? Was it a family connection, or maybe something with friends?
No, I was super young, and it was something my dad, he played a little bit. He was 29 or 30 years old when he started playing hockey, so he was older, but he got into hockey, so he was probably playing hockey for 5 or 6 years by the time that he put me into it.
Okay.
So it's just a sport that he kind of fell in love with, and then he decided that he wanted me to try it out, and I fell in love with it.
Excellent. And how did you become an Aberdeen Wing? Was it? Did you show up to camp? Were you somebody like maybe Coach Jennings as a recruiter and scout and stuff? Did you get a phone call, or how did that all come up?
It started. Oh man, I think it was a while ago, probably 2 years ago. But it was at a tournament, and I talked to Coach Jennings at the time, and so we chatted there. And then probably about a month later, I tendered with Aberdeen.
Okay, excellent. Happy to have you. Couple of just kind of off the wall type questions, but what would you say is your favorite holiday and why?
Ooh, I'd probably have to go with Christmas. I know that's pretty stereotypical, but Yeah, I just love Christmas. I love the cookies. I love the presents. I love, being with the family, having steak and lobster for dinner. I mean, that you can't beat that. So that's definitely my favorite.
Definitely good reasons too. Food, excellent.
Yeah, big.
Well, and it always just seems like that time of year, everybody's just a little happier,
Yeah,
Holding the door
absolutely.
for people and smiling and wishing each other happy holidays. That's always one of the reasons why I've always appreciated that time of year too. How about a season? Do you have a favorite season, and why if so?
It's a great question. I guess I like seasons for different reasons. I think fall's pretty exciting because it just means the hockey season's just around the corner.
Yep.
And I don't know, I kind of like it, like the apple cider and the pumpkins and all that kind of stuff. I kind of love that part of it.
Yeah. No, very good. I know that is true for a lot of people. It's good to see the seasons change, though. Like you said,
Yeah.
each of them have their own appeal. All right. Well, we've got the Austin Bruins coming up, and they are top of the Central Division. Even though, like Coach Jennings and I were just talking about, it's a very tight division and pretty even in a lot of aspects. What do you feel like you guys have to do as a team to come away with some wins against the Austin Bruins?
I think we just have to continue what we started this weekend. I think we played pretty well this weekend. I think we played more of a consistent game. So, I mean, going into it, we just want to play more consistent, play 60 minutes. I think if we play hard and play physical, I think we'll get the wins this weekend.
Would you say that the physical part of the game is one of your favorites?
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that I've always admired as a fan.
Yeah.
And growing up, it was something I always thought was pretty cool. So it's something I definitely do in my game.
I kind of figured that was going to be the case because you do seem to almost relish being able to throw your body around and getting big hits and stuff. So, and it definitely is exciting for fans to watch. So, sure appreciate it. Well, Jackson, I think that's about all I've got for you here. I've got some information that I'm going to pass along here. The Wings are back at the ODI Center this Friday and Saturday, October 29th and 30th, as we host the Austin Bruins as part of Rooster Rush Weekend. As Coach Jennings talked about, there's a lot going on this weekend. Doors open at 5:30, puck hits the ice at 7:15. The Aberdeen Convention and Visitors Bureau will be at the game with an amazing raffle. You must be at Friday's game to sign up and win. Up for grabs is a Zamboni cooler, a signed Wings jersey, and tons of swag from the CVB, like free Wings tickets, shirts, hats, and more. It's free to sign up, but the only place that can happen is in the lobby Friday night, and one lucky fan will take home that amazing prize package that night. And this Zamboni cooler is remote controlled. It has lights. It's really cool. We also invite you to help us bust the barn by attempting to set a franchise record for highest attendance. We welcome AGP as the corporate game sponsor inside the Automax Party Deck. Saturday, October 30th, doors open at 5:30, puck hits the ice at 7:15. It's our Halloween night. Fans are encouraged to dress up. We'll have bags of candy for the first 100 kids, plus stick around for a candy toss after the game. We welcome Team South Dakota's U14 and U16 hockey teams to the OD on Saturday night. Get your tickets ahead of games online at tickets.aberdeenwings.com or at any Sea Express location in Aberdeen with additional purchase. Season tickets and corporate night sponsorships are available for the 2021 and 22 season. Call Aaron at 605-380-5852 for more information. Don't forget, Wings Weekly is now a podcast. Find the audio for this season's episodes on Spotify, Stitcher, or iHeartRadio. And for all the latest news and information on the Wings, visit aberdeenwings.com or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. Once again, Jackson Yee, thanks so much for coming on the show and getting the Wings fans a chance to see a little bit of your personality, a little bit behind the visor.
Thank you, Jay.
You bet. All right, folks, that'll wrap up this week's Wings Weekly.